it. All right. Guys, let's talk about some amazing stuff. Yes. Amazing stuff. See, that's a visual aid. You see that? Yeah. See, now they got something they can look at. You like these Mylar flips? I live by them. I'll tell you guys. We love a good Mylar flip. I have a whole metric crap ton of them. Because you never know. Make sure there's no address on there, huh? You never know when you need a Mylar flip. I got more than this. This is just a small fraction of the Mylar I'm packing up in this. Yeah, it's Mylar City. Now you're probably asking yourself, what is this guy yammering about? Well, I'm glad you asked. Today we're going to talk about. Let me grab this real quick. Oh, I love it. I love it. I wanted to show you guys. Can we get that back up? I have my lovely assistant Marie today, who's helping me out. Yeah, and we're gonna. Oh, she's a big fan of Eva, not the channel, just Eva. So this little chart. This is the one you want, guys. I wonder if we can flip this. Can we flip it? Throw the thing down, flip it in reverse. It. I don't know. I'm not gonna mess with it. You guys can see that. All right, it says. So this is the GSR. That's today's subject. What is the GSR? You have any idea, Marie, what the GSR is?
Silver ratio. Gold
to silver ratio. That is exactly right. What's that mean, though? See, I was a layman. I didn't know anything about nothing.
How many ounces of silver it takes to buy an ounce of gold?
That's exactly right. How many ounces of silver? So on this chart, there's a corresponding number to represent the GSR, right? And the appropriate action to take if said number is reached. Now, in March, I believe it was, of 2020, we hit the all-time, never-seen-before record GSR. And if I remember right, it was like 125 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Now, this chart tells you exactly what to do. It's a plug and play. So, what's the GSR right now? Any ideas?
I don't know.
Let's look it up. Well, and then we'll keep that handy though.
Okay.
We definitely want that. Last time I checked, it was like 77 to 1. But that's probably old news. It's always changing, always evolving, guys. Be dynamic like the market. That's what I always tell you guys, right? Even though it's the first time I ever said it. Oh, yeah.
Well, this is just telling me.
Yeah, we just need to know the number, the current. Oh, there it is. There it is. So right now we're at. Here's a chart. Look, we got charts. Look, guys, this is more sophisticated than ever. So it's looking like it's above 78, below 79, and I don't have a resolution. It's probably like 78.6 by my eye, but you guys tell me. The point is 78. Let's call it 78. What do you think? Would you agree that it's about 78? It's probably quite a bit higher than that, but okay. So that means that I would have to have 78 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. So let's pretend this is 78 ounces of silver here. Just so you guys have a visual aid, right? I don't want you guys to be bored in between visual aids, okay? I know you guys have the freaking attention span of a moth going after a light, so it's cool. Anyway, so while I tell you about this, let's go back to our chart, though. We're going to go back to the chart. So it's plug and play. Plug and play if you believe in the chart. So the chart says at 78, what's it say?
Well, between 70 and 80. Trade gold for silver.
Right. Consider trading gold for silver. So if I had a hunk of gold, I might think about, right?
Trading it for silver.
But if you go back, let's go down. So the neutral zone. Let's start the neutral zone. Hold tight. This is no man's land. That means don't do nothing. You're holding. Holding at 50 or 60. What is that? 50?
50.
So if the GSR is 50, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't buying nothing. precious metals are doo-doo. Doo-doo. But you hit 60, what do you start doing?
We're buying silver.
We're buying silver. Silver's the buy. If the GSR is 60 or more, buy silver. You freaking... Oh, wait. That's not it. No. I adore. Yeah. Buy silver, I adore. There you go. And, okay. And then we jump up 10 points. We hit 70. Well, we're going to start thinking about trading our gold for silver, right? When we hit 80, what do we do?
Get rid of your gold for silver.
Hand over fist. All that gold's got to go. If you... Now, what... Okay. Now, at 90, you better not even have any gold. Yeah. And at 100, wow, sorry, dear, the wedding band's got to go. So in March of 2020, you should have been trading your wedding bands to buy silver, okay? And by the way, if you'd have hit it right at that point, you'd have made out like a bandit, because silver more than doubled. It nearly tripled within the next few months, if I remember right. So why does this chart matter? Well, gold and silver have a very special relationship, a high level of correlation, okay? So if this ratio is high, it's usually not sustainable. Either gold has to come down or silver has to come up, or a combination of the two. And as the prices are always fluctuating, that's usually what happens. But as luck would have it, gold's been staying high for about a decade now, historically speaking. Whereas silver, man, there's been some nice opportunities on silver, guys. Once silver breaks through, if it does, I can't promise you it will. I do not give financial advice, do I? No. Do I even play a financial advisor on TV? Oh, no. This is all for entertainment, isn't it?
Correct.
That's right. So, but for your entertainment, there's something called a swap, a GSR swap. Any ideas how that works?
No.
I've heard tell of it. I've never done it. So what you do is, this is real. I have seen on other channels where people call into pawn shops and coin places, and they actually ask about the swap. Well, why would any of those places swap silver for gold or gold for silver? Why would they do that? Any ideas?
Well, only if it financially is advantageous for them.
That's right. So there's a few big advantages for the pawn shop. Okay. First of all, no money changes hands.
That's right. We talked about that.
So if money doesn't change hands, what doesn't it trigger?
Do I say it?
Go ahead. The government doesn't. It's a barter. Barter.
That's right.
Huh. So that's one aspect, but there's another one. Silver. If you're selling gold and silver, right, you're making all your money on the margins. It's the difference between spot and what you paid for it. Silver is more transactions. Therefore, more potential for profit. Assuming silver's hot and people are buying it like they are right now. Silver's hot right now, guys. I don't know if you've seen these premiums. But yeah, you're going to sell more ASEs than you are AGs. That's the gold eagle. I've never seen one. I've never even touched one. That's way beyond my, listen. They say that gold is the money of kings and silver is the money of gentlemen. And I don't even know if I'm that. I think I'm more in the trailer individual zone myself, but that's a totally different discussion. But let's look at a few more things and then we'll stop the video. I don't want to ramble on, but let's talk about the historical GSR and where it's been historically compared to now. So now we're at what, 78 and a half? Mm-hmm. Okay. So can we get a historical gold to silver ratio chart? This is somewhat important because there was a time when our money was actually based on silver and gold, believe it or not. And during that time, there was a set gold to silver ratio. It was actually set by the money handlers. Okay. And these people had that classically set to either 16 to 1 or 15 to 1, depending on when you're talking about. Okay. So the gold to silver ratio classically, going back to time immemorial, was 15 to 1,
You want me to click one?
or 10 to 1, or 16 to 1, depending on when we're talking about. It's been as low as 4 to 1. All right. In China. In ancient Egypt, there was a time when it was 1 to 1. But we're not going to talk about anomalies. We're going to talk about, the average time in world history. Keep in mind that monetary metals have been money since recorded history began, and even before that. The ratio has always been somewhere around 10 to 16 to 1. But not below 20 and above 10. Let's say that. Okay? And here's our reference. Yay, I got a tool for references. So if you guys want to look into that, the gold to silver ratio, 329-year chart. So we can look at this fun chart here. All right, we're loading the data. There it is, guys. So this is, if you look before the Federal Reserve was formed, you see that? The Federal Reserve is what jacked it all up. Look at that line going back, way back, from what year? Oh, 1693. 1693 till the 20th century. That's a flat line, would you say? Yeah. Well, the reason for that is because our money was actually made of silver and gold, and they were at set ratios. So the silver to gold ratio couldn't really move much because it was the standard. Now, we went into the petrodollar in 1971, I think it was. And if you look here in the chart, man, it starts getting really volatile after that, doesn't it? Now, there's some volatility back here, but it's slower, right? And you got to realize in 1964, that's probably what that box is. That's where we got silver out of our money.
Right.
And then it just beep, 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 beep. It's all over the place. It's like reading an EEG, isn't it? That's slow wave delta there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, enough humor. Enough about that. But yeah, you look at this chart and you say, wow. Well, let's look at some of the pertinence, okay? Here, more eye candy. We got to get more eye candy. Yeah. Well, the pertinence is, we don't need that. Well, actually, yeah, look up the in nature occurrence of silver to gold.
In nature?
In nature. Okay. So I think that's pertinent. I think that's important because ultimately we can't win against nature. Nature wins, right? So if you assume that gold and silver are both valuable and desirable, right? Because that's the other thing. Just because something's scarce doesn't mean it's valuable because it has to have desirability. That's part of the factor. So yeah, that goes into the demand end of the supply demand chain. It has to be desirable, So yeah, here we go. Total world gold and silver production. Okay, so I'm wanting to see like the ratio. This is just raw numbers. Let's see if they got it here. 9 to 1. There it is. Oh, no, that's the ratio. I want the production. So I want to know. I already know the answer. It's between 8 and 10 to 1. So let's that's money metals. Maybe that's got it. La 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 la. Let's try it. Let's try this. Okay. 16 times more gold is extracted than platinum. So that's platinum, but I didn't say anything. Oh, this has all of them. Okay. So platinum's more rare than gold. Gold is much more common or much more rare than silver. And let's see here. There's 19 times more silver than there is gold, but only 9 times more is extracted today. So I knew it was like 9 or 10. So what's happened is we have extracted a bunch of the good ore of silver, the good sources, the good mines, And so silver becomes more and more scarce. Also, a lot of the silver we used was destroyed using film, X-rays, cell phones. Because silver has that added component of being an industrial metal. Well, why does this matter? Well, we're figuring up the gold to silver ratio. I'm going off on a tangent here. And we have to keep in mind how much is actually produced, because that should play a role, but it really doesn't, does it? Because what's the gold to silver ratio?
Right now?
Right now.
What did we talk about?
78 to 1.
Right.
But what's the ratio out of the ground?
You said it was what, 9 to 1?
9 to 1. How long is that sustainable? If say, both things are desirable, again, this isn't like a unique item that nobody wants, like a Pokemon card. This is an actual desirable, people want this.
Not to mention with the world in flux, are they even extracting silver?
Well, and that's the thing. When COVID hit, they slowed down production because they had to close the mines. And most silver is actually a byproduct of copper production. And copper is really expensive right now, isn't it? Yeah. So that gold-silver ratio out of the ground can fluctuate, but it doesn't fluctuate nearly as much as the actual price gold-to-silver ratio. And that's the thing. So how sustainable is 78 to 1 when, in fact, out of the ground, it's 9 or 10 to 1? Or let's go with the high number. It used to be it's 19 to 1. Well, 19 to 1, if we go to our chart, is that's going to be where we would trade. Yeah, we'd trade all silver for gold at that point, wouldn't we? Yeah. So if out in nature, on our original chart here, we're trading all silver for gold at this point. We're way beyond that. The silver is gone. We're getting gold. And that's the real key here. We're getting a little long here. What does this game all mean? When you do the swaps, if you follow these numbers within reason, or, play your own game, do your own due diligence, you're able to buy silver and turn it into more ounces of gold at the end because you do the swap the other way. And if you build a relationship with your local coin store, they're probably going to be real happy to do the swap with you either way, because you've already got that relationship. You guys are, you're a loyal customer. They're probably going to do you right. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. And like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, phone a friend, whatever you got to do. And be good to each other. Stay safe. Bye-bye.